Cardigans are an all-year garment for me. Even in the summertime, I take them with me to restaurants, theaters, and grocery stores where I know the AC is going to be blasting, so I'm always comfortable. This Sable cardigan from Seamwork is a unique version with its front ties. I used a double-brushed poly for the first one and a modal spandex in today's sew-along. Both are nice and stretchy, and for all of my main seams, I've used a 0.5 width and 2.5 length zigzag stitch. And for my hems, I used a 3mm zigzag. This pattern does include a facing, and you have the option of interfacing those pieces, which I chose not to do today, and it worked out just fine. I did choose, however, to interface the shoulder seams to make sure those don't overstretch over time. Give this cardigan a try, you'll get a lot of wear out of it. Let's sew it now. For the center front ties, I've cut 6 strips measuring 1¼ inches by 9 inches. Fold each strip in half right sides together and pin the long edge. I'm going to sew the long raw edge with a 1/4 inch seam allowance from one side to the other. Then we can turn the ties right side out. I'm just using a safety pin here. Tie one short end in a knot. Do this for each of your 6 tie pieces. Place the raw unknotted edges of each tie piece at the markings transferred along your center front piece, right sides together, and pin in place. Do this for all tie pieces along both front edges. Baste each of your ties in place. To reinforce the stitches along the shoulder seams, I'm going to apply knit interfacing to my shoulders along the back bodice piece and fuse in place. Then I'll place my front and back bodice pieces right sides together along the shoulder seams and pin in place. I'll sew the shoulders with a 3/8 inch seam allowance and press the seams open. With my front and back pieces still right sides together, I'll pin both of my side seams and sew with a 3/8 inch seam allowance and press the seams open. Fold your sleeves right sides together and pin the long edges. Sew at 3/8 of an inch. Then to hem the bottoms of the sleeves, we'll fold those raw edges to the wrong side by 5/8 of an inch and pin in place. Then we'll edge stitch along the raw edges all the way around to complete the hem. Turn the sleeve right side out and place it right sides together with its corresponding armhole. Pin in place around the armhole, aligning your notches. Sew the sleeve in place with a 3/8 inch seam allowance and repeat to create and attach both sleeves. Place your facing pieces right sides together at the shoulder seams and pin in place. Sew at 3/8 of an inch and press the seams open. Then we'll place this facing right sides together with the center front and neckline of the bodice and pin in place. Make sure to align your shoulder seams. Starting from the bottom edge of one front piece, we'll sew all the way around the center front, around the neckline, and back down the opposite center front to the bottom edge of the front piece with a 3/8 inch seam allowance. With your facing still right sides together with the bodice, we're going to pin the bottom edges of the center front. Sew horizontally to attach the facing to the center front along the bottom edge with a 5/8 inch seam allowance on both sides. Now we can trim those bottom center front corners. I'm also going to trim the corners at the center front where the neckline meets the center front edges. We can turn our facings to the inside and give the center front edges and neckline a good press. From the outside all the way around, I've pinned the facing to the bodice. And we're going to top stitch along the raw inner edge all along the facing. I've also pressed the bottom edge of the garment to the wrong side by 5/8 of an inch all along the bottom, and we're also going to be edge stitching along the bottom raw edge to complete the hem. Tie those center front ties and the top is complete. Thank you for joining me for this sew along. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future sewing tutorials, and I'll see you in the next video.